Alright, thank you for finding this video, and in this video I'm going to show you how to shoot at night and edit using Lightroom on your smartphone. If you want to see more videos like this, please be sure to subscribe and I'll be sure to provide content regularly. Now, I'm in an alleyway at this moment and I want to take a photo using my iPhone, as you can see. So I'm going to open up my camera app. And actually the iPhone can shoot in RAW, but you need an external app. But I'm just using regular camera app right now. And what I'm going to do is, after composing, I'm going to place my finger on the highlights. And what that's going to do is that's going to it's going to expose for the highlights. And that's what I want. It's okay if the rest of the picture is dark, but if you expose for the highlights, it makes it much easier later when you're editing. Because it's much easier to take out the detail from the shadows and the darks than to try and take detail out of highlights that are overblown. So I'm doing that a few times. Alright, so now comes the fun part. I'm using my iPhone 7 to edit this photo, but if you have any smartphone, you can pretty much do the same thing. Like I said, there is no excuse. Here's Lightroom CC. Yeah, you can actually download it for free. And I'm opening it up. Here is our photo. Now, as you can see, all the information in the highlights is preserved. And I know the photo looks really dark, but that's okay, because it's easier to take information out of the blacks and the shadows than it is to get any information from the highlights. So if I were to have shot this as a normal picture, I would have had real hard time getting those colors from the bright areas. But we can bring the shadows back. Now, I'm going to open up the light panel. And if you know my channel, you know I like to decrease the highlights and increase the shadows. This just gives it a more dynamic range. And we're going to start by increasing the contrast and the blacks, boost it all the way. We're going to increase the whites until it gets to a color, until it gets to a brightness that looks good. So I think 74 looks good. Now I'm gonna start to decrease the contrast until the photo looks the way I want it to. So it looks good to my eyes right there. Now I'm gonna go to a temperature, and I want it to look a little bit cooler. So I'm gonna decrease the temperature. -10 looks good. The tints, maybe, but right now I'm liking the way it is, and that looks good. Now, I'm gonna decrease the clarity, because I like when there's a little kind of glow around the neon lights, and I'm gonna give it a vignette. Something like -15. There, I'm liking it already, but this is kind of like a red light district, and I want to emphasize that by giving it a little kind of red tone to the shadows. So that's what we're going to do. Just find something to your liking. Okay, that's looking a little bit cooler now. And by cooler I mean I like the way it looks, not temperature wise. So maybe that's too red. Bring it down a notch. And that looks good. I like the way that looks. The highlights, I could give it some kind of crazy colors if I wanted, but to be honest, I like the whites the way they are right now. So let's see what else we can do. Let's go to the mixer. I think we could play with the colors a little bit. Now this is to your liking, but actually I like the green the way it is. But that yellow, actually that yellow is fine also, but this is all hit or miss the way you want to do it. So I do like that kind of hot pink, so it's a little too saturated. I'm gonna reduce the saturation, and I'm gonna increase luminance to make it a little bit brighter. Okay, now what else can we do? Actually, I would like to increase the saturation a little bit. Not too much. Where is it? Here we go. It's gonna give a little kick. And there we go. That's a pretty decent looking photo, I might say. I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this iPhone editing tutorial. And the thing is, you don't need Lightroom to do this. You can do this with almost any app. You can download whatever editing app, and they all pretty much do the same thing. And they all have channel mixers and temperature and messing with contrast and saturation. So it's to your liking. And the reason I did this video is to show that you don't need an expensive DSLR or just whatever expensive camera you want to buy to take these kind of photos. You can start taking them right now. As you saw, I took this photo with my phone, and I could do the same thing if you gave me a film camera or any camera really. So no excuse. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I will try to make more videos, and thank you very much for watching. See you around.